Most people who study here never met Rudy. I don't think anybody, but maybe Bob Sink, ever met him. And Bob has produced a video that he sent me yesterday, which I think is quite remarkable. And it's 13 minutes, and it's truly, the power of Rudy and his teachings and how he interacted with his students. And I mean, it's an extraordinary thing to watch. And all of you can watch it. It's free on Vimeo. I mean, I'm not a big person with technical stuff, but you can get it on Vimeo. I got it there and watched it, and it's quite remarkable. But also buy it if you want. Bob will sell it to you if you want to have a permanent part of your collection of videos. But I would recommend it because all of you have never met Rudy. You've never seen him in action. You've never seen the kind of teacher he really was. And this remarkable video, which, I mean, it really shows Rudy in a very profound way. Person who created this meditation that we use and who certainly saved my life and guided me to a spiritual life. Crazy kid that I was, and I recommend it if you have time and you want to see this thing. Just go to Vimeo, put in Rudy, the essential teachings, and you'll be able to see it. It's 13 minutes long. It's not very long, but you'll get a good dose of who Rudy was and what he was, and how significant he was in the teaching of very, very deep meditation practice that can enable a person to have a spiritual life. So I'm just recommending it. I think it's something wonderful, and I hope that you all take advantage of this really very wonderful thing that Bob did in editing this video and making it available to all of us. So we'll have meditation now. I hope you all are muted, and we'll have a meditation now. And afterwards, if there are any questions, I'll be happy to try and answer them. Does anyone have a question? Yesterday I was kind of laughing when I thought that this book that I'm writing, it's going to be, well, it's finished, but in another couple of weeks, it'll be all posted on my website. And I said, well, what's next? And then I saw that video yesterday and I really had a vision of what's next. Having a place, where people can come and get deep spiritual training, having a place where there can be just a joyous and wonderful energy. And it just opened up a whole door. And I always say, when a door closes, another one always opens. And it opened up a whole other door for me. And I'm really very interested in seeing where it leads. Where that door is going to take me. But I always say that, probably the most difficult and almost dangerous way to live is, stagnation, not moving forward, not opening your heart, not, you know, growing inside yourself, becoming more a conscious human being. And I think that's probably one of the most dangerous things a human being can do because your life ends. And I think it's something that I've always kind of been afraid of, even before meeting Rudy. I was afraid that life would get stagnant, that my growth would stop. I would get caught in a situation that would limit, any kind of growth potential in me. And when I saw that, you know, little film Bob did yesterday, I said it really opened up another door of real possibility. So I'm really interested in seeing what happens, how that unfolds. Does anyone have a question they would like to ask?
Stuart, I have a question. This is Jan.
Yes, John.
When Shakti comes, like at different points during the day, where I just feel it moving through me, is it best to stop and sit with it, or better to continue to do my day and try to work with it while I'm in that in that
Well,
situation?
look, if the energy is that strong, the best thing, if you can, is stop for 10 minutes. Tell everybody you got to go to the bathroom, you know, and just stop and sit down and take in the energy. Let it work on you. I mean, you don't have to be compulsive about your day. And if you're being blessed with energy like you're talking about, I mean, why let it dribble into the day? Let it absorb inside you. You take 15 minutes and absorb it rather than and through the day and take all of that energy and just waste it. I always say people are so busy being busy, that they waste half their lives being busy and not accomplishing a hell of a lot other than maybe money or, whatever people are busy chasing after. So my suggestion is that stop for 10 minutes, sit down, let the energy absorb inside you. And then you'll do service to your spiritual growth, to God, and eventually that energy will be used in the world, and it'll be used more consciously than you use energy at the moment.
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome. Does anyone else have a question? Well, we have to learn to leave ourselves alone. The world demands that we be so busy. And eventually you get 50 years of being busy and they give you a gold watch and kick you out the door. I mean, it's ridiculous, the whole thing. Instead of sitting down 15 minutes a day during the day, absorbing God's energy, spiritual energy, growing that way, letting that energy begin to guide your life so that you don't have to be busy being busy. When you're busy, you can be busy, but you always have time to sit down and absorb that kind of energy. It's too important, and a rare gift that somebody can open and receive, the energy of God, the energy of spirit. They have the capacity to do that. Most people function on tension. Tension runs their lives. And it's probably why the world is so crazy, because tension runs just about everybody's life. Fear, insecurity, tension, ambition to do, things in the world. And that's all right, as long as you can build a system that can detach yourself from the rewards, that the rewards themselves don't become an image of God. You can have things in life, as Rudy always used to say, you can have lots of things in life, success and money and, relationships. You can have everything in life, but you have to be sure that it doesn't have you, that you are strong enough to be free of it. And yet you can enjoy it thoroughly, 100%, 1,000%, and probably more than people will enjoy it when they're so involved in their tension and they have to break down every door in front of them and kick every human being in the teeth in order to get what they want. You know, a little detachment gives a human being the ability to enjoy the rewards of life much more. Does anyone else have a question? And probably, let me just add, and probably even more important, enjoy ourselves. Enjoy the richness of what it means to be a human being alive in this world. To fill ourselves with love, with compassion, with joy, and to live that way. Because, our self-worth is worth, it's worth more than any kind of other reward. Just that we can be happy people. Most important step that a human being can take in the world, the greatest treasure anybody can find on earth is just to live a happy life. I tell you, when I saw that documentary yesterday, that little film, that door opened for me. Just to bask in spiritual energy, to enjoy life, to love life, to work hard in the world, but not be trapped in what the manifestations of that work brings. Does anyone else have a question you would like to ask? Okay. Thank you. God bless you all. And I always say it at the end of the class, I come here to learn. I don't come here to teach. I come here to open to what all of you have to teach me. Your presence is, to me, a very great miracle in my life and something very sacred. So don't ever take yourself for granted. You also, are one of God's children. Every one of us is. And we should never take ourselves for granted, beat ourselves up. Doesn't matter what anybody says to us, what people think. If I would worry about all the crap that people have said about me in my life, I would have been dead years ago. None of it matters. It's like I once wrote a play called This Too Shall Pass. And it's true. It all comes and goes. Everything is transient. Life is transient. And we take it so seriously. And it's all transient. Comes, it goes. Comes, it goes. Every positive thing comes and suddenly it goes. Every negative thing comes and goes. All of life is just a boat going downstream. Comes and goes. It comes and goes. The only thing that's permanent is a connection with spirit. And that is the most important thing of all, because that gives us our freedom. It opens us to God, to a higher energy, makes life infinitely more rich than ordinary life is. So God bless you all. Thank you. And there'll be a class tomorrow evening. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you, Stuart. Good night.
Welcome. Night.
Thank you, Stuart.